Hey, it's Celebrate Truth. I'm Robbie Davidson, and I found a new article in BGR. There's a new fake moon landing theory, and it's dumber than you could possibly imagine. That's right, this one takes the cake. Wait, what? Seriously? You will not believe how ridiculous this theory is. But yep, someone out there is claiming it. And honestly, if you can think of something more ridiculous than this, please post in the comments. I would like to know, but I don't think I've ever seen anything more ridiculous than this. NASA's Apollo 11 mission landed astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin on the moon in July of 1969. But that's not what some would have you believe. Yeah, some would be me. Conspiracy theories about NASA have allegedly faked the moon landings are not new. They all focus on the idea that NASA shot footage of supposed lunar excursions in a movie studio right here on Earth. But a new theory by a seasoned conspiracy pusher really takes the cake in terms of utter absurdity. Weidner, an author and filmmaker who has proposed theories that include the sun awakening higher levels of human consciousness and the government's alleged use of airborne chemicals to keep us complacent, have now weighed on the moon landings, and boy, I am glad he did. As Express reports, Weidner made some bold claims on a recent radio show that included NASA faking video footage of the moon landings to fool the Russians, but then actually landed on the moon at the same time. Wait, what? I think they just decided for publicity reasons that it probably was better to have someone do it here on Earth, Weidner claimed. Then they could go about their business and not reveal their secret equipment to the Soviet Union during the middle of the Cold War. And who would have been responsible for ensuring that the fake footage looked realistic? Well, our good friend Stanley Kubrick, of course, Kubrick, whose name has been attached to fake moon landing conspiracies for literal decades, gets credit from Weidner as the mastermind behind the fake footage of Neil Armstrong setting foot on the lunar surface. This half of the theory is nothing new, but it's Weidner's insistence that NASA did indeed land on the moon is what really makes this claim a special flavor of crazy. I'm not saying we did not go to the moon, Weidner said. I believe we did go to the moon. He goes on to insist that NASA went to the moon, but just didn't want to show the public the actual footage of the event because the Russians might have been watching. NASA, for its part, have always insisted that the footage of its several moon landings and excursions are genuine and considers any doubts to be an insult to the countless men and women who made the mission possible. Oh, heaven forbid we insult NASA. Was that the same NASA that basically destroyed all the technology to go back to the moon?
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
Wait a minute, was that the same NASA that has almost been 50, well, it has been. It's been 50 years. Wait a minute. There's no end in sight. Even Trump, in my last video that is certainly going viral right now, a lot of people have been viewing it, comments. I appreciate all your comments on that. But even Trump was puzzled, sending NASA's budget through the roof, giving them all the money they would ever need. NASA still cannot do it. Yet they completely talk about 2030s. And you got SpaceX. And I was reading actually last night that Elon Musk sent out an email to all his employees at about 1:30 or 1:20 a.m. in the morning, saying they're going to have to cut back, they're going to have to work harder, they're in trouble. But yes, they're going to go to the moon, they're going to go to the Mars, they're going to go to Mars before NASA. Yeah, right. It's all a bunch of illusions. It's all a bunch of deceptions. Everything that we see is all part of the propaganda. It's insulting. They talk about us insulting the men and women who made the mission possible. The men and women that were at NASA honestly believed that they were doing something good. They honestly believed that they actually were on the moon. There's nothing to insult the men and women who made the mission possible. What we're insulting is the fact of lying continually to the world. Forget the American public, the entire world, with all the space agencies attached to NASA. People will say, well, what about Russia? Russia. Well, Recently, Russia said that they're going to go back to the moon to verify if the US ever did. Isn't that convenient? The Russians go and verify that, yep, we got there, and yep, we can see the tracks. Yep, America did land on it. How convenient. What if US and Russia were working together? What if there was a spiritual force behind all of this, trying to keep people, trying to keep humanity from the truth? It seems like a stretch. But whether you're here watching this video and you're not into conspiracies at all, are you skeptical at all about JFK? Latest documents that have released show the fact that there's truth to what those crazy conspiracies were saying. What about 9/11? What about the investigations that are going on? Building 7, anyone? Maybe just look into a little bit. It's not about believing 100% what other people believe. It's about not believing what the official narrative is being presented, because there's holes, just like there's holes in many, many theories. But of course, the article shows someone claiming that they actually went to the moon, but they faked the footage so the Russians would see the faked footage so they wouldn't see their technology, so they wouldn't actually be able to see based on this is, it's laughable. It's absolutely laughable. But yet this gets printed saying a crazy new moon landing conspiracy theory. And I'll have to admit, it is pretty crazy. I don't believe it. I don't think you guys believe it. Anyone that really believes this, please, please post why in the comments. But like I said at the beginning of the video, if you know of anything crazier than the idea that they actually literally went to the moon, but they faked all the footage so the Russians wouldn't see the actual technology and how they did it, this is ridiculous. But this is what we continue to get shown all the time. I'm going to play something here at the end just for you to think about, obviously with the clip that we watched, showing the fact that they destroyed the technology. But there's many, many shocking clips. Watch videos on my channel. Check out my films, Scientism Exposed, The Global Lie, Impossible. You will hear from the astronauts themselves. You will hear from the scientists themselves. It might not be good enough just to hear my voice and what I have to say, even though I will link into the description the actual articles in all my videos. Anytime I do a commentary on any article, I will link to the source if you want to check for sure. But sometimes it's best to hear from them themselves. And that's what's nice about video. That's what's nice about being able to put this in this format, because we can actually get them. Just like we heard from Don Petty saying they destroyed the technology and it's a painful process to build it back up again. Are you kidding me? Why is it that space is the only technology going backwards? Really? The Apollo 11? Do you understand that the RAM was like 4K? You have more megahertz power in your iPhone, even if you have an iPhone 4. It is like multitudes greater than what was in the Apollo 11. Yet we're supposed to believe that they had no problem going to the moon and back? I've done this a lot on my channel. I've gone through this many times. It's time to really start examining, start researching, asking the questions for yourself. Don't let anyone intimidate you. Don't let anyone tell you you're stupid. The latest people that came forward, even recently in the sports world, were equated with, if you even dare question the moon landing, is paramount to being a Holocaust denier.
Mark Spears of this network and this company, Steph Curry and Jalen Rose. These three people are my friends. I know them well. I'm with them. Their discussions all the time. I know their intellects. Don't do this. Don't come out and say, we saw these pictures are kind of grainy, they're black and white. Happened before I was born. Because does that mean you don't believe in slavery? Does that mean you don't believe in the Revolutionary War? Did it not happen because it didn't happen on your watch? Don't do this. So you guys are too smart. Don't do. You're supposed to be.
Are you
woke.
saying Jalen Rose?
Jalen, I listen to Jalen today. These are my guys.
Rose?
If you are as woke as you say, if you are as technologically savvy as you appear to be, don't do this.
This is a
Because you're saying, I don't believe in history. The hell with history, because it didn't happen while I was looking at my cell phone watch.
It's a very small step to becoming a Holocaust denier or a slavery denier.
Don't do it.
That is just a way to keep people in fear. It's sick, it's disgusting, and it needs to stop. But many people are speaking out, and I applaud the brave people that will speak out on this, because it's not about just a deception with NASA. And why would they lie? There's a big, big thing behind all of this, and it's so important. So I don't spend all these hours making videos on my channel just because I'm bored or I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist. I believe it's important because the truth is important. This matters because the truth matters. And every one of you listening, every one of you watching, can search out the truth for yourself and understand that the truth will set you free. And it's important when you're looking at the reality. If they've lied to you about your reality and they've lied to us about creation, what is the true creation? But more important, who is the true creator behind the creation? Because they want you to believe that you came from nothing, that you evolved from apes. You're nothing but an animal. But the reality is, you're special, you're unique. Don't let them deceive you. Don't let them steal your soul. This is war. There is a battle taking place. And understand that you are designed and created unique and special. Get to know your creator. Get to know the truth. It's time to keep exposing the world's lies and celebrate truth. Blessings, everyone.